Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. I'm here with Hero Darkly Dark. He's the head of culture, in case you didn't know that. And we were just talking a little bit before we went live that he said last time you were on my channel, I just shaved my beard. Well, last time I shaved my beard for bad reasons. I was in a car accident. I had the neck brace on, and I couldn't have the beard and the neck brace. This time I shaved it off because, I'm at work on a construction site, and I put my hand in. I had a glove on, a work glove, and I put my hand in tar without realizing it. And then throughout the day, I'm wiping my face to get the sweat off my face. And then I'm like, what? Oh, I had tar all over my beard, on my eyebrow, and my hair. So I didn't even make it home. I went right to the barber on the way home and got
Oh
shaved.
wow.
Yeah. So it's growing back already. It'll be back. Maybe it'll be a July tradition. Every July, I'll shave my beard. I don't know. So how are you doing? What have you been doing in the past year?
I've been doing pretty good myself. Yeah, usual I outside of working my projects, just been doing work, research, and yeah, just about that. Just create, enjoy entertainment, and imbibe. It's a simple life, but I enjoy it. It's a lot less stressed, and that works out just for me.
Yeah. You last time you had an active campaign, and this time you got an active campaign. We'll start out talking about your comic at the beginning, and then we'll see where it goes after that. But you got Relentlessly Bullied Hero 1 to 3, a shonen superhero manga. I'm not that familiar. What does shonen mean?
Basically, it's just a genre of manga. It's technically speaking, it doesn't have like a hard definition to what it entails, but it basically just meaning that you're appearing to young boys, like I say, people between the age of like 21 to teenagers, and usually that comprises of like action series and such. So yeah, your Naruto, your One Piece, your Bleach and such. I think you mean myself.
My StreamYard is getting. I don't know how I just got muted. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with these comments. It's driving me nuts that we're not seeing my first name. So I must have just hit something when I'm trying to figure it out. But anyway, I thought I solved it, but I didn't. All right, but anyway, I was telling people that my comic is all ages, and when I say all ages, I mean kids and adults could read it. All other people think all ages means kiddie book, and it's my book is not a kid book, but kids could read it. My target audience is all ages. Like comic books used to be all ages. So it sounds like shonen is as close to all ages as you could get. Am I
Uh,
right or wrong with that?
I'd say, relatively speaking, as yeah, I say anyone could read it, but like, while anyone can read it, it is heavily slanted to appeal to young boys. So like,
Okay.
of course, no one like minds if like girls or like adults read it, but yeah, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, they know their
I
market is
every time
yeah.
I say this, people jump down my case, but we talk in generalities. We say it's geared towards young boys. Star Wars was geared towards young boys. Girls liked it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Only in the last 5 years do we actually have to understand that human beings don't speak in specifics. We speak in generalities. But ironically, when comic books, Marvel and DC specifically, were geared towards young boys, I thought they had more girl readers. I girls readers I think are rarer in mainstream comics. Do you have female fans? Do you think?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. When I go on conventions and such, of course, not all the people who buy the book are just guys. No, there's a very sizable amount of people, yeah, especially surprisingly girls who buy the book. I think
Oh,
mostly because they just like the girl on the cover, but yeah, regardless, it's like, hey, anyone can read my book. I kind of don't care who buys my book. It's just like,
right,
hey,
right, right. Is your money
yeah,
green? Yeah, I'll buy, you buy my book. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
with you on
'cause-
that. I don't want to gatekeep. It's funny because there's a couple of people that I know have ordered my book and they hate me. They hate everything about me, and they can destroy my comic. But guess what? Their money still spends. So hate buy my book. That's great. That's why I don't hate watch TV shows. It's still considered a view. You know. But yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's kind of just that's one thing as I grow older, I just started implementing where I'm just like, if I just don't enjoy something, I just don't
right.
buy it. You know, just a
I don't bother with it. I agree with you. I think that it makes your life a little bit more relaxing. I got myself involved in drama the past couple of months, and now I'm like, why am I even bothering? It's I'm not going to change anybody's minds. Everybody believes what they want to believe, even when you show them proof, they don't care. So I just go ahead. You want to believe this? You want to do that? Be my guest. I'm over here doing this. Just leave me alone. That's all I want. Just leave me alone.
Yeah, and it got more obvious when it's like, okay, because of course I always encourage discussion because I think discussion what helps bridge
Absolutely.
people together. But of course it can get a lot easier to differentiate between someone who's actually trying to have a discussion and people who you can probably even believe that they don't even believe what they're saying, just want to say it because XYZ because they have to. I'm just like, okay, at that point, we're both wasting our time here. So, I mean, maybe you can waste your day doing this, but I have things in my day I actually want to do. So,
yeah, I assume you're not a full-time comic book creator.
I wish I was, but
Yeah,
that's not how the world
I
works.
think you have a regular job. That makes you a little bit more grounded. Comic
Yeah.
book pros, they sit in their basement all day long, and they draw, and they don't associate much stereotypically. And then I think now they, instead of like turning on like Fox News or CNN, like I think they turn on YouTube and listen to like people they already agree with, and they just become like crazy people. Get outside, play frisbee, guys. Once a week, make a frisbee appointment. It'll improve your life. I got to go out every day and meet and work with people. It's a lot of fun. I encourage it. People are good. People are fun. It's fun to talk to people.
Yeah, like before, I used to ironically tell people to touch grass, kind of like
Yeah,
a
I was
slight
avoiding
joke,
saying that because I just that's such a cliche, but basically
yeah.
touch grass. Yeah.
Yeah, but like nowadays, I actually will like actually advise someone going like, okay, dude, it's very obvious you're way into all this internet stuff. Like, so like literally go outside. I think you're way into this stuff.
Yep.
You can at least find something else to do outside, but
Yeah. Go pet a cat.
yeah, go to a cafe, go to your bar. I'm pretty sure there's something around your people's town that they can do.
It's funny. I haven't been to a bar in years. I in my early 20s, going to the bars was the coolest. And somewhere around like 28, I was like, this sucks. But me and my wife, there's a bar right down the corner from me, and I don't want to say the name because then somebody can look it up and find out where I live. But literally on the corner, and every day, I pass it coming home, and every day I'm gonna go there, have a beer. It's my local bar, So maybe this Friday I'll talk my wife and we'll go down to that. Just walk down to the local bar, have a couple of beers. When was the last time you did that? I assume you're over 21.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like, yeah, I think the last time I went, it was like a group event. I don't usually drink, just because
Me neither. I very rarely drink.
yeah.
4th of July is my drinking day. There's something about it. Me and my wife sit on the lawn with lawn chairs. We get cold beers because my neighborhood goes to town lighting up fireworks, and I cancel all my talks and everything. Like it's dark outside, watch it. And it was great because it was a Friday this year. And then I go out and I just walk over like a weirdo and start talking to all my neighbors, because I live here. I want to know who's that guy? Who's that guy? Not like in a nosy way, but in a friendly way. And I love, but that's a couple of beers in me, 4th of July. That's it. But rest of the year, I don't really drink. And what does this have to do with your comic book? Is Hero Darkly Dark about beer?
I mean, it could be if I wanted to, but no.
No, what is it about? I'll be quiet. I'm going off on tangents. Tell us about Hero Darkly Dark.
Oh, you're good. So my book is Relentlessly Bully Hill. It's about this Relentlessly Bully Hill.
Yeah, I couldn't say it. I was stumbling over my words. That's why I said Hero Darkly Dark. Oh, you're going to be in the studio Saturday. Good job.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be everywhere for like the next.
You got it, and it's fun. It's fun. Go out, go. Those guys are talented. They can enjoy your characters. Cool. So tell us about it before I interrupt you again.
But yeah, it's about a new heel. His name is Zio, and he got stuck in this bonding deal with a villain. Her name's Gamora, and she likes to spend a lot of her free time mess with them. And it's because about 2 years from the current storyline, a accident occurred where Zio almost died, and so Gamora was the one who saved them. But of course, Gamora being a villain, that didn't came for free. So in exchange for her, Gamora having his heart, quite literally, Zeal's I guess you could say heroic adventure is now whole form of entertainment. So as he's dealing with all this stuff like more villains attacks, conspiracy among heroes and such, he's there just making his life just a little bit harder. So it's one of those more fun action stories. With I guess you can call it romantic comedy to them as what a lot of people like of the series are the two of them budding because
Will
hero
they?
villain
Won't they?
dynamic.
Like you remember Moonlighting? That was the you know. Is Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis going to hook up? Are you playing with that?
Uh, yeah, but more just just seeing them bicker. Yeah, that's one of the more fun parts why about just having them bicker because of course Zeal is more of an edge lord. So of course straight laced, always want things be in the correct place and such. And Gamora's like, polar opposite villain, so she doesn't really have that sense of responsibility. And because this is entertainment for her, she'll purposely just do things to annoy him. So it's just fun seeing them bicker and go through all these shenanigans between all the action and story and such.
Is Gamora the only villain?
Oh no, there's others. Of course, it's I always say it's action shonen, so of course there's at least one fight every chapter, and Zio can't be fighting Gamora every time.
Well, yeah,
So
I was just wondering if it was like a big long story arc, with one main villain, and then you will see it conclude. But so she, if I remember correctly from last time you were on, she's just busting his chops.
yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
like
I,
she's not exactly in the direct antagonist role as he is just a more of a nuisance for him. Of course, there's other villains who are more antagonistic. Like the first one was a guy who was just blowing up a bunch of stuff. The second one was basically a crazy guy who was about to do a terrorist attack on this one event. And then the third one is going to be a different kind of villain to it. But, she's not the main antagonist, just
okay.
one of those
So I'm
additions.
you know me, if you've been watching my channel, I'm really into names of superheroes. So I mean Gamora, that is the name of your main female antagonist. So I'm embarrassed to admit I haven't read your comics yet. You got 3 issues, but I'm gonna try to construct Gamora from just the name. So she's sexy, she's
Yep.
dangerous,
Yep.
she's seductive, and I'm trying to think, well, like what superpower? Because I was just describing traits. I'm trying to think now what superpowers she would. I bet you she's like superpowered, like fighter, and like enhanced reflexes. How did I do?
Oh, I mean, you're kind of right. She's more of like a magic user. So
Oh,
she use
okay, I'll
yeah,
buy
she
that.
uses more spells and such.
Okay, all right. I was thinking of like a demonic, physical ninja or something like that. Okay, magic. So is she demonic? Do I remember correctly?
As far as we know, kind of, yeah. I mean, it's not like directly, oh, yeah, it's confirmed. See the demon. The theory in series, anyways, the theory is that she might have gotten her powers from making a deal, but that little bit of exactly what it is still kept hidden. But
Okay,
you can definitely tell it's not from
so
some
he didn't spoil
benevolent
anything, guys.
force.
I'm just extrapolating. So I'm not ruining.
Oh no, it's set in the series, so I'm good.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
funny thing about Gamora's name is, technically speaking, Gamora is just her villain name. She does have a regular civilian name that I did introduce in the first book, but it was in like the bonus pages that was at the end. But somehow I ended up forgetting about that I revealed it. So like I think it was like 2, 3 months ago, I was reading this one article that someone wrote. Well, they'll review my book, surprisingly. And then so when they said her name, it was like Sasha Mystique. I was just like, wait, who the F is that? I was thinking to myself, who's Sasha? Until I actually went back and found out, oh yeah, that's why I named it.
Oh man. Oh yeah. You, how many years ago did that first come out?
We should be approaching 2 years.
Okay. Yeah.
I forgot
Yeah.
if it's already past 2 years or by December or January or
Yeah.
officially be two
It's
years.
hard to
But
keep
yeah,
track of everything. Like I'm a when it comes to like my comics, I have lists and notes and stuff that I if you know, and now that I'm going back and forth between different stories, I got to refer to the notes, and I always go back and reread the last thing to make sure that I didn't mess with continuity. It would just embarrass me so much if I messed continuity up. Um, so excuse me, I'm gonna make this big, and I'm gonna play you trailer. Okay, there's like no cursing or nudity or anything, is there?
oh no. Thankfully, the book is like I said, solid.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I
while there
just
will
making
be
sure
like
'cause
some
sometimes you click on
jokes,
something and you get more than you bargained for.
oh, no problem.
Uh,
Yeah, thankfully the image is like I forgot to warn you about that.
Cool, cool. So you're very manga in style. You're not the artist, right? You hire an artist.
Yeah, hi artist.
Yeah, and this is the same artist on all three issues.
Yep. Thankfully, he's been
You
committed to this series just as I am. So hopefully, we
got
can
it.
keep this going for I don't know, at least a decade.
And I know this is is this your third campaign?
Yes.
Oh, good for you, man. It's rough because a lot of people have a first campaign that they don't follow it up with a second, much less a third. So good for you. You're already in like the top 10% of indie comics. You know,
Yeah, thankfully, since the first one went so well, it's like, oh wow, I only want to do the second one, and then the second one did even better. So it's just one of those things. Well, it's a lot easier to steamroll, not steamroll, but
I know
basically,
what you mean. Snowball,
yeah,
snowball.
snowball, yeah, snowball it. But see, that'll kind of help with the formula I do when it comes to these. Well, I usually don't start one till I have like most of the book or like all of the book completed. So I'm
That's a
already
good
trying
idea.
to
That's a
move.
very good
Yeah,
idea.
yeah. So it's like it's a lot easier for me to manage what I'm doing. I'm not overpromise so that once the campaign goes, it goes, and I fulfill the stuff. And well, from there, whatever remains is stuff that I usually just use to put back into the series to get started on the next one.
Yeah, that's
So
what I
yeah,
do. I'm waiting longer and longer to start campaigns because you know the first one I was pretty much on time, just a couple of weeks late. A couple of weeks late in this field is on time, and this time I waited till I was more complete before I launched. I think the next issue I'm not even gonna launch until I'm like just about ready. I think just preparing and then criticizing other people for being late, and then me being late would just be really embarrassing. So I'm
yeah,
with you on this one. Be luck favors the prepared, as Edna Mole said. Edna
yeah,
Mode. Yeah.
yeah. That's kind of like the funniest thing. Like generally speaking, as someone who's been in indie for long, for at least a decent amount of time, I don't even mind projects being late. It just depends on how late and what the creators are doing in the meantime.
I agree
But
with you. I agree with you. I'm pretty forgiving, and especially now that I'm making my own comic. But there comes a point where it's just egregious. And again, I'm the exception. It don't bother me. So they threw that back in my face. Well, you said it doesn't bother you. I'm like, it doesn't bother me as a backer. It bothers me as a creator because now I'm getting people saying I can't back books anymore because everybody's always late if they deliver at all. And I'm like, see, that's where it affects me. As a backer, I look at it like this. I back Hero, Relentlessly Bullied Hero, and I'm making this up, guys. It's late. All right, you're not late, but let's pretend you are. Then I get that book and I read it. I have that book for another 20 years. I'm not going to remember that it was 3 months, 4 months, 5 months late. That doesn't bother me. But when I'm trying to sell a comic book and people are telling me, crowdfunded books are always late if they deliver at all. That's where I have the problem. And of course, everybody's like, you're being disingenuous. You said you didn't mind late. Now you criticize. Guys, I'm talking it from two different perspectives. I don't know.
Because that's one thing I always tell people is that unironically, a bad Kickstarter or campaign, it's like, of course, it's bad, but the damage a bad or like a bad book does pales in comparison to the damage that a late or a completely unfulfilled campaign does. Because, like everything, when you go to movies or when you pick up a new book and such, you're always running to that risk that, okay, yeah, this book or movie or TV show that you paid Netflix to watch, may not be worth the time, but regardless, it'll still be up to you and it'll be on your time. But if you just straight up don't get it, now that's create a big rift, because now it's just like, okay, so now I don't even know if I can even get this thing. Well, I'm gonna pay money for. I might as well just.
I don't even know if I should. Books. The last time I brought up that, I was a target for 2 months, so I don't even know if it's worth even bringing up anymore. But all I said was, we need to be better. We need to come down on these people. And when I say we as comic book creators. And that guy, that wasn't taken too kindly, and I was a bad person, and I was, what's his name, Oscar Goldstein from 1984, 2 minutes hate. So I don't know. So we got your campaign, but you got 3 campaigns. You successfully delivered all your campaigns. I don't recall you being late. You put out. This is your 3rd campaign in 2 years. You're doing pretty good as far as this sphere of comic creation is going. I wish I was doing as good as you. Like my comic delivered in November, and I'm hoping to deliver my 2nd comic end of September. So that will be 2 comics in a year, and I would like to do 3 comics in a year. Now that because I was doing it all with one artist, maybe now with other artists I could do 3. That's my goal. I think a comic every 4 months, 5. That's good for us.
I mean, yeah, that's honestly my current goal as well, to see if I can get things bumped up to where I can do like at least 3, hell, maybe even one day 4, books a year. Because I of course want to be a little bit more consistent. I want to because I got plans for the story that I actually want to do in full, and I don't want to, of course, overly stretch it out, because eventually people might lose interest, especially if the updates are too inconsistent.
Right, and if that is the biggest problem with lateness, is people lose interest. So yeah, you gotta strike while the iron is hot. That's why I wanted to launch my campaign. Like I didn't want to wait much longer, because I was like, I got to keep people interested. But you're right, keep people interested. Keep be consistent. Come out with product. You do it. Seems like you're doing everything. Are you growing? Are you getting more backers every campaign?
Yeah. The first one I got, I think it was like 70, exactly 70. The second one I got to 100. And good. So here we got the 3rd one. We're not even halfway through, and we got 51.
Good for you.
My hope is that we got a little bit more than 100, like 110 or 120. Yeah, also that I'm continuing to grow and such.
I was afraid because my first campaign I had like 300 backers, and now I'm just about 200. But they always say that you get a 50% drop off between issue 1 and issue 2. I didn't get that. So, I got like a 1/3 drop off, but like you said, my campaign's not finished. So maybe I could get to 300. That's my personal goal. My personal goal was to get to 301, but let's see how that goes.
Yeah. Also, I think it also kind of depends on how big was the first one. Because, like I mentioned, I lost the first one with basically nearly no audience. It was my first one, so I don't have like a back record or anything that people can
rely
on.
I get you. it's a big ask to make your first comic. People don't know you, they don't, that you didn't develop a trust yet. I mean, did you do a YouTube channel? Like, did you just come out of nowhere and make a comic?
Yeah, that's. I mean, I did have a YouTube channel, but it wasn't even for comedies. It was mostly just something I uploaded to like once every 5 or 6 months when I felt like it.
That's pretty tough. Pretty tough. Like, I did YouTube for almost 3 years before my first comic, and I, didn't exactly burn the house down with people rushing to buy my stuff, but I did pretty good. I broke even.
Yeah,
that's my goal, is to break even, and then maybe like make a trade, and then put the trade on Amazon, and and then just use that money for the next comic. I have no illusions of retiring off of comic book money. I would just like to keep doing it and not have to pay out of pocket. That's the goal. But look at this. Is this the cover?
Yeah, that's the main cover.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it was a joy making this.
I really like the coloring on that.
Yeah, that was made by the interior artist.
Oh, that is great. To put the interior artist on the cover is just, to me, that's the way it goes. It's I'm working. Stippling Vaughn is doing a story for me called The Printer's Devil, and every Sunday he makes a little video while he's doing artwork. He talks, while drawing, and I put the comment. He's just like, I don't know who's going to do the cover for this, but like, blah blah blah. He's like, I'll send them. So I wrote in the comment. I said, "You're doing the cover. You're doing the comic book. You do the cover." And he was like, "Really?" He just assumed, but no, man, I think that's something that we should get back to. The original, the guy who does the interior artwork does the cover. Like when Renzo asked me, my artist, who's going to do the cover, I said, "You are." And he's like, "No way, I never get to do covers." No, I'll have a variant cover, but this mainstream cover is the interior artist. So Marcus Kellegrew, when I know you're in the chat, when we do the issue that has the public eye, you're doing the cover because it's your character, your artwork. You deserve the cover, So we'll I'm babbling now because I had too much coffee. But the way I work is we do this. I like to get my artist to do like a trading card of the character. That way I understand that they understand the character, that we got the look, and then we'll do the comic. Once the comic's done, I tell the artist, go nuts, make your cover. You did all the artwork. And I almost don't give him any input for the cover. Just do what you want. This is your chance to shine. And the artists always want to shine on the cover, right? That's their time to show up. So, but like me, you're not an artist. So how do you tell the artist? What do you tell them to do? Did you design this cover?
Yeah, fortunately for me, well, not fortunately, but yeah, I do like kind of give suggestions and such, since usually the covers are, because I like to, for every campaign, I like to include a print of the next cover.
Okay.
A print of the next, the print of the next cover of the next issue with the current or whatever campaign. Yeah, I usually, the covers are done first. And so, of course, my artists haven't read the script or the next one yet, or like fully read it and such.
Okay.
So usually I kind of have to like direct them.
They don't know that next issue she's fighting the space lumberjack.
Yeah,
so space.
But regardless, after like I get the initial idea, I'm like, okay, you just go for this, and outside that, have fun, so however you want. And I always feel like when you let your artists cook in their style, it's better for them, as they're doing what they're more comfortable with. So the art will feel more natural and it won't feel as stiff.
Yeah, I agree. Plus, I don't know. It's truth in advertising, because I've seen this happens a lot in indie comics. Is that just good artwork on a comic cover, and you're like, wow. Then you buy it and it's just garbage inside. So I like that this is your interior artist. So what you see is what you get. That's to me, that's the way it is. Oh, Dr. Mask agrees with me. This is the way.
Yeah.
But not the way I did it. It's complicated. Okay, life is complicated. Marcus is throwing you chats, throwing you links.
Thank you,
just as an aside, my comic Heroic Tales 2 is available on Kickstarter for 12 more days. and it's still available on Fund My Comic, and it will be continued to be available on Fund My Comic. Fund My Comic is the home. We're just driving around the block over to Kickstarter for a little vacation for a couple of days. So your main character's name is I forget, Zeo.
Zeal, Zeal.
Zeao, Zeo. Okay, what is?
Oh, Zeall.
Okay,
L at the end. Yeah.
What does it mean? And like tell me about the hero. What are his traits, qualities, powers? What do I need to know?
Well, yeah, zeal is basically a word to mean like great enthusiasm or passion and such.
Oh,
So,
okay.
overall, a really determined person. And so, that's why I kind of named Zeal that, as that's kind of both his role in the story and also.
Okay, now that you explained it to me, okay, I get it now. That's cool. He's a good guy.
Yeah. Yes, he is an edgelord and such, but he is like an actual good person, not just in claims, but like even through his actions. Like he beats up bad guys and such, but he also does little things like making sure people are safe, helping ladies get across a busy road, that kind of such. That's so that he's not just here for the popularity. He actually
in my old age, I just want a good guy. In my dotage, I want to read stories about good people. I'm tired of the boys and nastiness and deconstruction. Even though last night I just wrote the most dark, gruesome superhero story ever.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I don't even like hate fully, some of those stories. It's just that the fact that they took over that at times, like that's the only story people can tell what made me tired. Because that's kind of why I made this series. That it was kind of like it was back when I guess you could say nihilistic superheroes were at a peak. The boys were at this peak popularity.
Yeah.
Evil Superman was the thing everyone was doing, all that stuff. And even in comics, a lot of these heroes won't really act like heroes. So I was just like,
if I see evil Superman, I am just out. I'm done.
Yeah. So I was just like, man, I hate this. I kind of want to have something that at least can bring back some form of traditional heroism. And I don't mean like traditional as in like 1940s Superman shoot out a mini Superman with his hand kind of thing, but like those good values and strong thought-provoking moments. Like I love Justice League Unlimited because there's so many heart-touching, thought-provoking scenes that show that beyond just the powers and like the bare basic or basic ideals of what's right, that these characters are like truly good people in their heart and seeing them try their best for people in extreme or special circumstances, so that no, they are heroic. Take away their powers and such, they'll still be doing the right things and at least try not to abuse it.
Yeah. So I see. I'm looking at the art here. We have this blonde woman, and then this is Gamora right here, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So who's this blonde woman?
So that's basically another younger hero.
Okay.
So the story so far was that after the events of the first one, Zeo kind of just goes like, yeah, I kind of need to have friends that I can actually rely on because I can't have Gamora be the only person that's back up because she's a villain, so she's kind of off at being a superhero. So it was like, yeah, I kind of need friends to actually back me up who are actually heroes. So the second one, he goes to an event to like he does find someone. It's not her, but it was someone he's friends with. So in the third one, that mutual friend basically just went, oh yeah, you just hang out with each other. And so that's what led us to where we are now. And she's kind of fun as he kind of introduces the concept of hero families that in this world are hero families where it's not just one person has powers, but it's like, okay, no, like just about everyone, from dad to mom to brother and sister has abilities and they use it to be heroes. As you know, that wasn't established at first. Well, we just knew heroes existed, but not to what extent. So it's one of those fun things where as the series goes on more and more, you can establish more of the lore and such.
Okay. Cool. Ow! I just dropped my phone on my hand.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I'm so clumsy. So you said so. I want to look here at your actual campaign. So you gotta. It's funny because this is like a default at Kickstarter. Like make a pledge without a reward. I have it too, and I nobody ever does it. It's like kind of. I wish I could get rid of it. I don't want people to just give me money. I want to earn people's money. But anyway, digital book. You know. Oh, this is digital. All 3 books, $15. That's awesome.
Yep.
That's good. This is number 3.
And I because of my model, my books are usually like 50 to 60 pages. So those 3 books are like 180 pages. Of course, the other one is looking to be our longest one yet, as it's looking to be quite honestly almost 70 pages. So that's more gonna be like 190 plus pages of content for $15. So it's a good deal if you really like it.
Yeah, it is a really good deal. $15 for mine is 40 pages, $10. I tell people that I'm the best. I'm the best value in crowdfunding. This is the cover B, the booby cover. This to me is like the fun cover, the booby cover, and then what is the rage cover?
Yeah, I used to call it relentless because it didn't start out this way, but it kind of now became like a money joke where for the cover C, it's always just about always gonna be Zeo getting his shit kicked in.
Okay, so
because in the first, because like in the first one, it was just him struggling against something, and then the second one, it was him getting punched from like basically all different directions. So I was just like, for now, I'm just gonna keep on having cover C be him, or at least someone
that's pretty
really
clever.
going through it. Yeah.
That's pretty clever. I was going to say something I shouldn't say about a spoiler, but so we got a book and a poster. Let me ask you about your poster.
Yeah, go for it.
How big is your poster? This is me asking somebody who's done it before because I'm thinking about a poster, but to ship a poster, you got you tell me what you did, and I'll ask questions. I'm running
it really depends on what kind of poster it is versus how you're gonna be delivering it. And I usually get a fulfillment company to do it, so that makes things kind of a little bit easier as they're more experienced with what needs to be done and such. But with posters,
does it come folded or does it come in a tube?
The one I did before, it never came folded because I had to make the size be just about the same size or like a little bit smaller than the fulfillment boxes. But with the posters I'm doing in this campaign, I did find like a website that also does posters where they come in. I don't want to say it comes in a tube, but it's basically just a tube. Well, it's rolled up, but it doesn't bend. It can easily just be straightened out. I even have to test it out in a bag. You can't see it, but so I'm gonna use that.
I can't stand when the posters come
folded and such.
Yeah, with what you would call them. With
crease.
Creases. I can't even speak anymore. I can't stand that. So like I don't want to do posters. I mean, I would like to do posters, but I don't want to do and tubes. That's got to be pretty expensive because you got to send that separately. So that's a whole nother shipping cost.
Yeah, so that's why if you're going to do one, find out what's the size of your fulfillment box, right, and then make like a print that's like a little bit smaller, so you don't have to fold or anything. You can just plop it in there. Or the site I'm gonna try out to see if this works, so I can start doing bigger posters. But the site I found, they also do fulfillment of posters. Of course, you have to pay for shipping for each one,
right?
So that's gonna be a little bit more money, but I charge accordingly, so it's like, okay, well, let's see how this turns out.
Yeah. So obviously I haven't offered posters. I'll show you this. I did this just to see if it would work. If you don't mind, I'm going to make my screen big for a second.
Yeah, go for it.
But you see this? This
Yeah.
is a metal sheet.
Oh,
And
wow.
I got my comic printed on a metal sheet. You hear that?
Yeah, well,
But
that's
the thing
awesome.
is, it's expensive, and I have to put it in an oversized shipping. So like, I didn't offer it on this campaign, but I've been off once in a while, and I'm getting really bad about it. But this is something that I'd like to offer. Like you can see, it's
That's thick.
you could feel it. You could feel the art embossed on it. I would
You know
like
what?
to offer something like this. If you're interested, I could send you the information of where I got it done. But it's pricey. You know what I mean? It's like I have in order. Like I got this done for me, so I'm this I'm gonna hang this up. This is for me. I would have done this anyway. But for
Yeah.
anybody else, it's like I got to charge like $65. You know what I mean? So is it worth it? Like, should I just get them made to order? Should I order a few? I don't know. So my next
I mean,
campaign.
yeah, you could do it as like one of those limited offer, items where like you only have like 5 of them and you charge like, I don't know, if it costs like 40 or 50 to make, if you include shipping, maybe like 60 or 70 or
Right.
whatever. So you can still cover any shipping issues and maybe make a little bit more money. Because since it's big, that's obviously a quality product. So I don't think, especially if it's limited, I don't think too many backers will mind if it's that amount of quality.
Like this is a regular comic book.
Oh wow.
So this is huge. And like I said, it's I forget what they call it, but you can hear it, and you can actually feel the characters in the foreground, or like a braille person would be able to figure out what's going on. A blind person rather. But I'm real happy with it. I'm real happy. I'm gonna hang it up behind me in this bare spot right here. Anyway, let's go back to campaign. So you got a physical catch-up bundle. This is 1, 2, and 3. That's a good idea. You gotta do that. Physical, all the covers. There you go.
Yeah. A friend once suggested to me that when you're in this business, you should learn how to be able to, technically speaking, sell the same thing over and over again. So that's why I always include at least like the cover A's of the last campaign, so that it still make the current campaign important, as that's the only time you can, at least online, get the other covers and certain posters and such. But for those who missed it, it's like, okay, well, if you missed it, it's still cover A.
Yeah, if you missed it, you're still welcome. And here's everything you need to catch up, because I do know the comic book fans are prickly pears and they want everything. And
Yeah.
I had a guy on my channel that refuses to do a catch-up tier. And he goes, no, if you missed it, you missed it. And I'm like, I'm not telling you how to run your business, but if that was me, I'm not going to get your issue number 2.
Yeah, like what would be the point? You won't be able to like keep up with the story and anything. That basically just hard caps his audience, per se.
Yeah, like that to me, just that chases away the average comic book fan. Oh, I could never get issue number 1. Well, I guess I'm choosing not to get issue 2 then, So
yeah.
So you're doing the right thing by having a catch up tier. There's a lot of people that ask me, "Oh, can I still get issue 1?" Like, absolutely, you can get issue number 1. And I even made a second printing cover that I can't wait to reveal. So when I still got a box of issue 1 first print. When I'm out of those, I'm going to print up a second one with a new cover. And it's so good. I can't wait to show it off.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, that's why I even try to be restrained with how many covers I do. Because I don't want to like have like 10 different covers. Because I feel like, well, not only is that so many, it feels like you're starting to disconnect the cover from the content on the inside. I'm just like, what? No, I still want people. Well, the second they see a cover, they're like, oh yeah, that's the cover for this event in the story and such. as look at manga. Manga only really have like one cover. The only
I,
time I ever see it have a different cover, it's when they go overseas. But
right.
it's like,
I don't like variant covers. I want, like X-Men. This is a great cover. This is what I think of when I think of this particular issue. Like, I don't want to be tricked into buying the same comic again because I did, or like, oh, I like that art. I do variant covers because it's, you kind of have to make your money. You know what I mean? To make it affordable to make a comic. Plus,
yeah,
other people seem to like it. And it's
Yeah.
fun because I got Josh Howard to do a cover, and I got Jose Garcia to do a cover, and I got Michael T. Gilbert and Pat Broderick. You know what I mean? I got legends to do, and that was a lot of fun. But overall, it was expensive, and it didn't really pay for itself. I would rather just do one cover, but
yeah. I don't mind some form of variant covers as it's kind of like, well, as you mentioned, it's a chance to collaborate with other artists
yes,
outside
people
of
that
your main artist.
because a lot of guys are willing to do a cover, but they're not willing to do 22 pages.
Yeah, and plus, it's a good way to have one book be able to appeal to like different people, solve different aspects. Because as you see, of course, Yon cover B, that's the booby cover, and that attracts a lot of guys and such. But not everyone always just want the booby cover. Some people like the hard, gritty action stuff, and so that's something that kind of
I like the cover A.
Yeah, and even that, cover A was more
this cover
fun
to me is it just looks fun.
Yeah,
and fun is what comic books should be. Nothing against this. I mean, sexuality works for a reason, and you said you're targeting males, and this is definitely going to attract males. But I and again, I'm not trying to slam anything, but this just looks fun. The colors, the woman smiling, he looks like, what's going on? I take it Zeal doesn't fly.
Like, yeah. Oh yeah. No, he doesn't.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. So this looks fun to me.
Yeah.
And this
that's why I kind of don't mind it, as it's like, yeah, give chance to like solve different aspects of the series. I just don't like when it gets too much, because let's be honest, after a while, it's just people doing random things. I'm like, okay, what does this even say about the series? I'm sorry, as you were saying.
Like Marvel, when it's got like 54 variant covers for this, it's like, knock it off.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's targeting people with mental illness. I gotta get them all.
Highway robbery. Like, in my opinion, there's zero situations where you need more than, I don't know, like 4 or 5. It's like, I can understand if there's like a special event like 100th issue or the 50th issue, like a big event where you might want to do a little bit more variants that time. But outside those small amount of time, it's like 1 or 2 variants is all you really need.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's what I'm going to do. I kind of went overboard with my first, but then again, how many times do you get to make your first comic book?
So, like, I'm fine with first 2. I'm like, yeah, that's the big opener. You might as well have a little fun with it.
So going forward, I'm Heroic Tales is going to be a flip book because it's always going to be 2 different stories. So that's always going to have 2 covers, but it's one comic. Then I might do a variant. I might, and then Patriarch, it's going to have Renzo always does the cover, and then maybe I'll have a variant cover. And the funny thing is, Patriarch #1 is going to have 2 covers by Renzo. 2,
Ooh,
so, yeah.
Cool. Oh, so Patriarch is now going to get his own.
Oh yes. I'm spitting the Patriarch. Yeah, my next crowdfund campaign is going to be Patriarch #1. 40 pages of just the Patriarch, and we're going to learn his origin. Finally, we're going to learn his origin.
Because that's good. I'm happy that you got one breakout character.
Oh, cool. Thank you. It's everybody. Everybody's tired of origins. Like, how many times do we see Uncle Ben get killed and Martha and Thomas Wayne getting shot in the alleyway? You know what I mean? Like, even the Fantastic Four going up into space, we've seen it already. So I didn't want to do an origin story because I was like, what if it bombs and nobody cares? Like, I didn't get to tell a superhero story. I got to tell. So I just told a superhero story, and I hope people got enough interest so that when I tell, because his origin's complicated. So I'm hoping that okay. I see why you didn't want to tell us, because it wouldn't have meant anything if I started telling you this kind of stuff right away. But anyway. This is your story, though. This is all an origin, right? This is 3 issues in, and we're still like a rookie superhero learning the ropes?
Technically speaking, it's not his origin per se. It's just more of his rookie years. If I can call it anything, it's more like his Batman year one, but we started like, I don't know, let's say, technically speaking, it's like a year or two after he started a hero as Zeo. So he's still very young, but
Okay.
it's not his origin, just his younger years. His origin is coming soon. That's something that's gonna be relegated to like chapter 5 or 6, around that time. Spoilers. And we do get like
you
hints
didn't
and
tell his
pieces of
origin
it.
yet.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
do.
yeah, we still
You get letting people get interested yet, so that when you tell it, it actually means something to them.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, the way I structured the story is that it still works without the origin. We don't per se need to know where Zero comes from, as it's kind of like, okay, that's not the biggest draw to the series. The big draw is a whole Gamora. He's on a Gamora dealing with all this stuff, kind of such. So it's like, all right, with that can keep people entertained enough where they don't really need to
I get
care
you.
about
So
his origins,
focus
but we
of the
still see
comic,
like snapshots of it.
yeah, the
Yeah.
focus of the comic is the relationship, and I'm down with that. Marcus is in the chat. He's drawing a comic. The name of the series is going to be called "I Love a Mystery," and it features a woman, poinsettia, and a superhero, the Public Eye, and you don't know their origins.
Yeah.
It's because the focus is their relationship. So, but you will learn their origins over the course of time. So yeah, I get where you're going. I dig it.
Yeah, like honestly, I don't think every story needs to start with its origin. I think
Right.
some can very easily start. I don't want to say midway through the story, but partway through the adventures, because most audience, I think, aren't stupid. Like they can get context clues and motivations easily as we put in front of them. So always starting from the beginning is like, okay, yeah, you can do it, but
Yeah, I'm with you.
you can start a little bit further down the street. Like we don't need to see him waking up and eating breakfast. We can start when he gets to school.
Yeah, you got to know what not to include as well as what to include. Like I got my second comic pretty much done, and so that's 4 stories. Out of 4 stories, 2 of them are origins, and then I wrote a whole bunch of other stories that other people are working on, and out of that, I'd say about 8 other stories. I think 2 of them are origins. Like a lot of them, it's just hit the ground running, and we'll get to the origin later. I don't know why, but Mary Sue, I wanted to tell her origin right away. I thought people would get connected to the character right away. Public Eye, I wanted you to see how weird he was and how bizarre he is first. That was more important than learning how he becomes like that, because it's pretty gruesome. Who drew the nurse? We got Omnipros asking.
It wasn't the interior artist. It's just one artist I found online. So I keep on forgetting the name, but I can quickly find it. But yeah, no, he was great. I always love his work, and I follow him on Twitter. So by the time the third one starts to round up, I'm like, you know what? I've been a relatively good person. Relatively clean person for the first 2 chapters. Let me at least put one artwork out that's a little bit more risque without going too much for it.
I wouldn't even call this risque. This to me is like cheeky.
Yeah.
Like risque would be a little bit more suggestive, and then then there's outright dirty, and then there's levels all the way to pornographic. This is cheap.
Yeah.
This is fun and flirty.
Yeah, because one thing while I was making the story is I didn't just want to make it, Gooner bait or sexy bait. Well, like that's all people will come there for. And I'm like, okay, I feel like that will kind of devalue the story if the only reason why someone would pick it up is just because there's a hot girl on the cover. There's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, you kind of want more than that. Well, so I was like, okay, let me be a little bit restrained. Well, yeah, there's that sexiness, but it's not just
it's comic books. Traditionally, men like comic books more than women, and even women like to see good-looking human beings. Like to see attractive human beings. I don't know why Hollywood and the advertisements decided to use ugly people the past couple of years, We don't like that, and the sales show that. We like when it comes to the silver screen art, comic books, whatever. We want to see attractive people, and let's face it, the human sex drive is one of survival, hunger, sex drive.
Oh yeah.
There's
Oh, yeah, for
nothing,
sure.
there's nothing wrong with appealing it. I think it's lazy when, like, if you go to Kickstarter, I'm not talking you, but there's just a whole bunch of comic books that's just boobs, sex, you know what I mean? And you can tell they're AI generated, and people are buying these things at and you kind of get discouraged because, like, I'm trying to write a good story, but there's nothing wrong
Especially
with
if it's like if it has like very little to do with the story itself. 'Cause, like this fits like
do it.
literally most personalities that see screws with the main character all the time in so many different ways. And technically speaking, they do officially live together. So but like when it's just that and the story has like nothing to do with it, or like in the entire book, it's just one page that was like, okay, you literally just put that in so you have a excuse for the cover. It's like, okay, that's just boring and lazy.
I try to put at least one sexy scene in a comic book, and I'm not talking like people laying on the ground having sex, like something that's like sexy, like a story I finished right last night. An actress is in her dressing room, and she's undressing, and somebody knocks on the door, and she puts on a bathroom, like just a woman in her bra. That's nice to look at, but it's not gratuitous, and it's not in your face, and gross. It's just a little sexy. Why not? Little eye
yeah, like a little nice tease. Like,
little
I don't mind that.
tease, because it's and then Omnipro says that's true, John. Women appreciate beauty in comics. Yeah, look at everybody. Look at all of these female cosplayers, and a lot of these female cosplayers are drop dead gorgeous. They're not cosplaying as, like, I don't know, some grossly overweight character. They're picking Red Sonja, they're picking Carol Danvers in that old sexy uniform, Spider-Woman, cute Supergirl. They're not, picking these grossly obese characters like Faith over at, I forget what comic that is, Black Mask Comics. She's the 400 pounds. Nobody's cosplaying as her. So women want to look at sexy characters and imagine themselves as sexy characters. Hey, Chris Williams is here. Hey, Chris, haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Good to see you. What are you covering on my channel, Chris? I throw out the invitation every once in a while. Chris said he'll come on his channel when he's got something to promote. You don't have to be promoting. We could just talk comics. We could just talk.
Yeah. Sometimes just fun to just chat. Not everything else going to be.
Yeah, I was just on somebody. Well, I'm promoting, but we just talk comics. It was fun. So we've been talking for an hour, and I got to go eat dinner, and I got to finish a script. So, anything you want to say to bring us out?
Well, I mean, for one, I happily say that I found a place where I can get the hoodie made. So I managed to be able to get the hoodie made on the main character, and I just received it today, and it looks amazing. So I'm happy that came out.
Okay, we're gonna talk hoodies.
Yeah, sure.
I got mine.
Yeah,
I'm gonna actually take pictures of this, put it on Twitter. I came yesterday, but I was too focused on finishing a story because I was late to giving it to the artist. But I have a character called King Fu, and everybody liked King Fu, so I made a hoodie for him. That's the front.
Oh, cool.
And then the back has got this awesome dragon.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, printing and making clothes is not the way it used to be. So I'm sorry to cut you off, but you said hoodie.
Oh, no problem. Like I saw that one. But yeah, so I managed to find a place that can do a full custom hoodie. So I managed to get one to be designed after the main character's hoodie, and it came out just about perfect, and I absolutely loved it.
It's a good design. I like this hoodie. I could see like people wearing it, not even knowing it's your comic. It's like a real, like, look at that hoodie right here. That looks like legit clothes, Don't be surprised if you see people who like, this is from a comic.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like on Twitter, I saw like someone was talking about how it sucks that for like a lot of merch for, I guess you could say, media, it's hard to pick one out because always like the giant picture of the character doing whatever and such. And some people are saying, yeah, it kind of sucks because like it's not as enjoyable, and a lot of people would prefer if it was like a little bit more subtle. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense because like not everyone always want to just shout out what character they like, or when they want to wear it outside at like more slightly formal events. Like I had someone who was going to, I knew someone who was like going to like medical profession. And so, of course, when he goes out to study with like friends or classmates and such, he can't go out in a Spider-Man, like a blanket Spider-Man hoodie and such. You gotta wear something a little bit, that at least look a little bit more professional.
I get
So
you.
a little bit more low-key clothes where you're still representing it, but it's not on your face. It's nice. So I'm happy with this one.
All right. Well, let's back relentlessly bullied hero. It's a unique premise, a superhero who is getting his chops busted by a sexy magic user.
Yeah.
Who may or may not dress up like a sexy nurse in the comic. There you go. All right. But I'm going to go. Thanks a lot, everybody. Hit me up if you want to come back on the channel. It's always fun to talk to you. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, who am I talking to tomorrow? Tomorrow it's clobbering time. We're going to do Deadshot versus Bullseye. And
ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, and at 7:00, it's John and Tonic. Tonic Ball and myself are going to talk about the Fantastic Four movie. So see you tomorrow, guys.
Bye. There you go.